Hey, welcome to this video on the 6 burning signs he doesn't want a relationship with you. I'm Renee, the founder of thefemininewoman.com, where we teach you how to show up as a high-value, high-status woman and easily inspire a deep sense of emotional commitment from men. After my extensive research in love, relationships, and masculine-feminine polarity, as well as helping women for almost 11 years now, I would have to be absolutely stupid to not have noticed glaring signs that a man doesn't want a relationship with a woman. So, without further ado, here are the 6 burning signs he doesn't want a relationship with you. Sign number 1, you have to initiate every time and he doesn't initiate back. Initiation of contact should be reciprocal. It's the most basic thing a man or a woman can do when conversing with their love interest. This is the simple act of initiating in return. Of course, at times you may initiate 60% and he initiates 40%. Other times he may initiate 70% and you 30%, and so on. The percentage really depends on whether one of you has something going on and needs to communicate more. It also depends on whether one of you has more to say, or simply maybe the fact that one of you needs the other more at that particular moment in time. That change of percentage is very normal and you want to roll with it. But at some point, not long after you guys first become an item, there must be a balance that roughly equates to, you guessed it, reciprocal, responsive, and generally equal initiation of contact. Now, on the topic of initiation, here's what a lot of women do when they've chased a man or have over-initiated. They try to fix the problem of chasing a man by becoming passive. Now, passive means many things, of course, but one example is the example of women taking on the ridiculous 80-20 rule in their relationship. Now, the 80-20 rule, or Pareto's principle, was a rule for other areas of life. It wasn't a rule for love and relationships. But some women mistakenly use it to guide their initiation with men. So what they do is they only initiate contact 20% of the time, while the guy is expected to initiate at least 80% of the time. This will not work for you either. As one man accurately said about this rule, the only man that this rule would work on is the men that women don't want. I actually have a video on why the 80-20 rule of contacting a man will likely make you lose him. I'll add a link below. If you feel like you're doing too much chasing, then of course you should stop. You never want to blindly chase a man. Instead, you should learn to initiate in high-value ways. If you decide to pull back and make him initiate to kind of reset, then that can be okay. It's a way of relaxing and initially changing your chasing behavior. However, moving forward, there must be a sense of mutual responsiveness between you both. Okay, sign number 2. He has got unspoken or blatant rules to ensure that you cannot take too much or have too much of him. This kind of behavior should send an obvious signal to you that he doesn't care about having a relationship with you, period. If the man is setting all these rules for you to ensure that you can't ask too much of him or to make sure that you can't get too exclusive with him, then that's a bad sign. If he has a bunch of rules about when, how, why to talk to him or to contact him, whilst you have no rules for him, that's a clear signal that he doesn't care. Ask yourself, does it feel like I could break up with this man today and he wouldn't care a whole lot about me breaking up with him? Ask yourself, does this man's unspoken or blatant rules make me feel like our relationship is not a safe place for me to go when I need him? Ask yourself this question. Does this man's unspoken or blatant rules repeatedly make you feel undervalued, isolated, and ignored? Maybe you could simply tap into your gut feeling. Your gut knows when something is up, so listen to it. Sign number 3. You feel like there's always a distance between you. You try to get closer, but he is unresponsive to your attempts to get closer. Do you feel like there's an emotional distance or a gap between you that is never closed, no matter how hard you try? Sure, not all of us women go about trying to get closer to a man in the right ways. In fact, some of us push men away with the wrong strategies. However, if it always feels like you're wanting to connect and he couldn't care less about connecting with you, or perhaps he never responds to your attempts to connect, that's a bad sign. Some men will keep you around, but they will always make sure that there's enough space for another new woman to enter into his life. Some men will keep you around, but always make sure that you are feeling empty of his presence. A man who has at least an average level of intelligence and who cares about you will feel it when you need him. He may need a little time and experience to understand your needs, but you'll still feel him trying. And he will do his best to respond if indeed he does want a relationship with you. A man who doesn't want a relationship with you will leave you feeling angry, hurt, and lost from the lack of emotional bonding between you. It's simple. Listen to that anger and that hurt. Don't ignore it. Zoom out a little and see the truth of the matter. He doesn't care, no matter how much he says he does. If you are feeling unsure about how much your man cares, here's something you can do. You can throw him what we call an attraction pebble to gauge where he is at emotionally. There's actually one specific phrase you can say or text to a man that will capture his attention, trigger his curiosity, and make him hang on to every word you say. If you'd like to know what that one phrase is, I'll add a link below. Sign number 4, he's only there when he wants something. Oh, you know, you get lots of booty calls from him, but no, just checking in on you calls. He never invites you anywhere with his family or friends because you're just not that kind of girl or woman to him. Instead of being the woman whom he wants to involve in almost every aspect of his life, he'd rather keep you at arm's length and make you the woman whom he can take from. And guess what? He will keep extracting value from you for as long as you allow him to. In other words, he either just never really felt any emotional connection and emotional attraction between you guys, or he sees you as an easy woman who he can push around and dominate in order to satisfy his own desires. We've all had that friend or a guy in our lives who was annoying. They only call when they want something, yet when you need something, there's minimal effort on their part to add value back to you. Feel that annoyance and let that anger be felt, because the last thing you want is to be desensitized to these feelings. Sign number 5, he's not invested in your emotions, and therefore he doesn't want to get to know the people that you care about. A man in love will invest in you and your emotions. There will be no doubt that when you have emotions, no matter how difficult or how wonderful your emotions are, he also feels them and is affected by them. A man who is mostly nonchalant about your emotions isn't invested in you. I think one of the crystal clear signals that a man does want a relationship with you is that he will care about the people that you care about. This is because, guess what? He's invested in you. When a man is invested in you, he will also invest in the relationships that mean a lot to you. He will want to get to know these people, understand your relationship with them, and potentially even befriend them himself. So, if your mother or father die and you are grieving, for example, then he will feel empathy for you. Even if he's not physically there with you, you'll get the feeling that he feels a bit of what you feel. Sign number 6, he tells you he doesn't want a relationship with you. If he says it, he means it. Men aren't women, and women aren't men. Well, not the last time I checked anyways. In other words, men don't communicate like women. Men actually mean what they say. If he says, I don't want a relationship with you, it doesn't mean, I don't want a relationship with you. Oh, I don't know, maybe. Perhaps in 2 hours or 2 weeks, I will want a relationship. Actually, let me just think about that and I might turn around and say something different in 2 weeks. No, it means he does not want a relationship with you. Sure, sometimes men say things they don't really mean in a moment of anger or hurt, but they don't do it nearly as much as women do. Why is that? It's because men who are masculine at their core are far more consistent. They're more consistent due to the fact that in order to maintain their masculine equilibrium, they don't want to increase drama or emotions. They prefer to decrease them. And this emptiness from emotions actually allows them to solve problems, to move forward, to get the kill, and to escape from the chaos of life. So, expect that if he says he doesn't want a relationship, he's actually already made his mind up and he's not about to change it. Alright, I hope that all made sense to you. Remember to hit the subscribe button and the bell to make sure that you get my future videos. That's all from me. Leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought. Okay, speak to you next time.